is that, yeah, during the session, you will see some poll or questions with multiple choice popping up on your screen. So that's the way for us to get to know you a little bit, know about your contact situation, so we can better tailor the session to what you need. Um, yeah, and so I think to start, before we officially hand over to Christian, our speaker, I just want to ask, what interests you the most? Is it the operational technology, which is the OT, or the Cyber Resilience Act, or ISO 27001? Are you preparing for your organization to get ISO certification and want to have some last minute tips? So that's the reason why you joined this event with us. Yes, anyone having anything to share before we start? If not, it's fine. I think it will reveal much more as we go along the session. So today I'm very pleased to introduce you to Christian Woelk as our speaker. And Christian is a global product manager for automotive cybersecurity with extensive experience in ISO 27001, together with other type of ISO like 21434 and topics across Chief Information Security Officer, ethical hacking, and IT security administration. So Christian will walk us through the presentation covering how ISO 27001 can support your organization in preparing for NIS2 and Cyber Resilience Act, CRA. So now I would like to hand over to you, Christian.
Yeah, many thanks, Carol, for the introducing. So just some words. So in the moment, I'm working for TÜV Nord Cert as global product manager, but also senior auditor in the mentioned standards you see here on the slides. And former, I was CISO for another company, and where I did ethical hacking, IT security administration, and so on. So long time experience in information security and a lot of standards. We'll handle over back to you before we start presenting with the first poll for.
Yeah. So like I mentioned earlier, we're trying to get to know you, our audience, our dearest audience a little bit. So we would like to know where you stand or where you comes from the perspective of these regulations, NIS2 and CRA. So it would be great to see some of the response, which I'm receiving right now. I think you all can see the distribution of our response. So Christian, probably you can comment on what you
Yeah,
see.
it's a quite good mixed group. So from very familiar to limited understanding, we have everyone here. So in the meanwhile, it's focused 60% somewhat familiar. And yeah, many thanks for this information. Whenever you will have some questions to the topics, we can jump in directly or at the end, as Carol mentioned in the beginning. So let's start first with NIS2 as our main regulation and focus in the moment in Europe. The NIS2 is a wide EU-wide legislation to strengthen the cybersecurity of the different European countries. This we have to understand because from this the EU members are forced from the EU itself to define national cybersecurity strategies and cooperate with the EU. This means you have different regulations itself. For example, in Germany, it's called the Kritis-Dach-Gesetz version 2. And other countries also have to follow close to NIS2. Someone decided to get a little bit distance to the NIS2 regulation. So it's up to the countries to decide, and the EU will check this at least in the next years. So the aim is to increase the digital resilience of critical infrastructure. Means focus is really the critical infrastructure like big companies, health systems, defense, and so on. But not every part of defense is included. At least it depends on what they are doing, in which kind, and this is normally described in the national cybersecurity strategies. Oblige companies from various sectors, what I mentioned before, and focus is here on the IT security or information security, the reporting obligations, and personal liability of management. It means we have focus on NIS2 on the organization itself. And NIS2 therefore leads to country-specific implementations. You see it here on the page. And when you have the organization security, it leads normally to the ISO standard 27001. We will see it in the landscape of security as a basement for certification. And instead of this, we have the Cyber Resilience Act. And the Cyber Resilience Act is an EU regulation that defines binding cyber security standards for products. It has no focus on the organization. It focuses on getting safe and secure products. So it obliges manufacturers to consider security risks throughout the entire product life cycle, from development till production, and ensures more secure updates and protects consumers and business from cybersecurity threats. This means that safe and secure products lead to CA labeling. In the future, you will not get a CE label for your products anymore without cybersecurity if it contains connections to the internet. If you have, for example, in the past, the teddy bear with KI or with Speak inside and connected to the internet to speak with children, this is something you will not see in future without getting CA label with the include of information secure product cybersecurity. The security component is therefore added to the CE procedure itself. So the EU decided also to have such steps in this check process. And one possibility, therefore, is the industrial standard EEC 62443. And for the automotive industry, you have ISO 21434, which is also on the side of the CA scope. The scope description is not easy to write for the CA, but because of the mentioned regulations there, you will recognize that this is out of context, at least when you're fulfilling 21434 with your vehicle components, vehicle products, then you're already fulfilling CRA, you can say. And if the number of products in a company increases, if you produce more and more products, it means that you will have in a simple product certification process to audit every or certify every product itself. This increases the costs, and for big companies, this is a big problem, at least. And in the CRA itself, you will find the module H. And module H is a quite nice approach for companies who produce, as mentioned, a lot of such related products. There is a management system approach included, and therefore we have a conformity assessment procedure based on the comprehensive quality assurance. This is the sentence you will find in the CIA. But the problem in the moment is what does quality assurance really means? Does it mean following ISO 9001, the well-known standard, or does it mean ISO 27001, which is also well known, but focus on information security? And in the moment, and there's a process in which not the product itself, but the manufacturer's quality management and development system is examined and by a notified body. This notified body could be a certification body, but the discussions are currently being held on who will become a notifier. So the countries have to find the accreditator. For example, in Germany, it will be the BSI, and they have to define what requirements will be placed on the certification bodies to be accredited. So for the auditors, what they have to check, for example, could it be in questionnaire or is the whole standard enough? So on this basis of the management system is also under discussion in the moment. And the committee is chaired by the German Federal Office of Information, the BSI in the moment. And this favors ISO 27001. And this means in the moment, in the discussion in the European countries is to go with the 27001 approach, perhaps to add some technical requirements, product-related requirements on this audit process. And this is why we say it's an anchor. You remember NIS2? NIS2 is organizations information security, and therefore 27,000 is our first point, our first anchor. Here in the CRA, when we are going the way using module H for the company, it's also a nice approach and an anchor to focus on 27,001 first, and then add some requirements. And this is what you can see as a result. You will find the connection between the ISO standard and 27001 and the Cyber Resilience Act. And interesting to know is also 27001 is the basis for the accreditation of the certification bodies for 62443. So it means you only get an accredited edition from, for example, from German DAX for this standard if you are already accredited for 27001. So here you will see the next anchor. And however, process-related additions has to be made to get a secure product at least. And for this, and there is a new technical requirement defined by the BSI, which could be used European-wide. In the moment, it seems that the BSI is a little bit further, which is not usual. Normally, the Germans are behind other countries, but in this case, the BSI created this technical requirements mentioned here, the TR 03183H, which can be found in the internet on the pages of the BSI. And this as a combination in the moment seems as a good approach for companies to fulfill the requirements of the Cyber Resilience Act. And this leads to the next question, Carol.
Yes. So right now is the reflection questions probably for all of us. What is the biggest challenge? Well, let me launch it first, that people can share input. So it would be great to know what you see is the biggest challenge in terms of get certification. And feel free if you have any questions and raise your voice, since we have a small group of people. So it would be great to hear your voice at some point.
In the moment, yes, I can understand that. There's a big jungle in the moment. Big jungle with regulations coming from the EU, and in the moment we are trying to get a light in the jungle to see our path and where we have to go. So in the beginning, I would thought that understanding which requirements apply to us is interesting, but I will also agree if companies start with information security, this information security culture across the organization is a really big challenge. You have to understand that for getting secure products, you have to implement such information security culture, and also building the right processes, documentation, evidences to fulfill the ISO standards, to be ready for auditing, is also here similar mentioned as information security culture. So many thanks for this insights. It's I can agree in this case, especially when I'm auditing 21434. We call it there the cybersecurity culture. This is something is really the big challenge to inform on one side the development department, but on the next side, at least also the production side, and also the production side has to recognize that they have a big point in creating secure products, and only if we have secure products, we have at least a good quality of our product. Europe is not seeing cybersecurity or information security as part of quality. We see it independent in most cases. But when we have a look to other countries, like, for example, the Japanese one, we recognize that security and safety is every time part of the product and therefore part of the quality of our product. And this means we can implement a better culture in our company when we bring it to mind that this is something which is going together. It's not separated processes. It's good products are safe and secure products. That's something we have to bring into their minds, and then I guess we will also get a lot of information from them and make our processes better. So many thanks for the insights here. And what we have to prepare on our journey, or information security or cybersecurity journey. So the first is we have to choose the competent partner to develop our information security management system, or also cybersecurity management system. And this means we have to choose partner internally and externally. We also have to find the correct persons who understand that cybersecurity or information security is something special. We have to find someone who can talk to quality departments, also to human resources and IT departments. So this guy is a translator between the different departments, and helps us to build up the ISMS. But we need also external partners, perhaps, because we have to get new knowledge into our company, that there are some special processes, not only IT security. My experience shows that IT security is placed in the company if you have a quite good administrator, system administrators in your company, then they are living it. They starting it as a normal culture in their systems. But if you're going to policies, you have to understand that the policies building a net. We compare information security sometimes with a spider. The management system is both. It's the net of the spider and the spider in the middle itself. So the spider recognizes some interruptions coming from the web or from the internet, from the net itself, and has to react on this. And this means you have to find someone who can speak to everyone and to recognize the feelings and recognize misbehaviors and so on. So find competent partners inside and outside to build up the ISMS. And outside, this is also a challenge because there are a lot of people outside who are telling us they are familiar with ISMS. They can build up the ISMS, but sometimes they are focused on IT security. The other one are focused on procedures, on documents, but we need someone who is familiar with both. This is our correct person we are searching for, and this is something we have to recognize as an organization when we checking the market. So with this, the internal and external guys, we can build up the ISMS, and then we can integrate also the processes for product safety. For example, coming from 21434 in the automotive world, but also we can use 62443 from the industrial side if we are more familiar with industrial security. But at least we can also use European-wide the technical requirements or regulation from the BSI. It's open. It's not only focused for Germany. It's written as a technical requirement for everyone who wants to use it. And this should be a quite good approach to create secure products. And at least when we build up our system, we have to show evidences. And for showing evidences, we need a certification body who audit our new system and helps us to develop it further. So it's not helpful that we only have certification bodies in our organization that just doing audits give us a paper. The effort is to get an inside of our management system. They have to, in best cases, they should find something that we can fix our problems, and this helps us. But therefore, we need the right partner, the right auditors, to develop our system further on. So, certification body is also part of our improvement process. For ISMS, there's also something interesting on the web. What I would show to you or inform you. Of course, it's not really known worldwide, and it's said, yeah, this is a topic for the automotive, but not for ISMS, for a normal industry or organization. And this is not the truth. There's the TISAX questionnaire catalog. You can get this on the link which is mentioned here. This catalog can help you also to get some insights. It's a quite good developed checklist with some points you should have in your company, and perhaps it's very useful for you as a gap list to find gaps in your system, to get an impression. And the catalog is also open. You can use it not only for the automotive industry, you can use it also for other sectors. So it is worth to look inside and get some impression what ISMS should include. And also the TISAX questionnaire or the TISAX process at all was checked by the ANX for the fulfillment of the NIS2. And they recognized that the requirements defined in the TISAX catalog, it's in the moment it's version ESAR 6, this is fulfilling the requirements. So it was really surprising that this, as in the past mentioned as a small audit process, is really fulfilling this too. And also the BSI in Germany said that TISAX is something they will take as an evidence for fulfilling CRA. So also this could be helpful when you're developing your own ISMS system. It's best practice, you can say, inside this catalog. The challenge on your journey will also be to start in a good time. The ISMS can only be checked on the basis of its implementation. It means you have to implement the rules, have to train your employees, have to set up the business continuity management or the asset management system. And after this implementation and running, this is our first challenge, to get it on the road, to let it run. And especially what you recognized also in your poll, the implementation of an information security culture. This is also a big challenge, to take all employees on this journey so that they understand why information security culture is important. Since 2022, a bad point in Europe, this information system, security system, is more than just helpful for getting a certificate. It's also security or organization. There are more attackers. Meanwhile, because of the war in the Ukraine, focus on European organizations. The fact is, they want to earn money, and hacking is increasing in the moment. Some Information to the budget. So yes, it starts with perhaps consulting or also training our internal ones. We have to address the internal resources like the personnel, the equipment we need. Perhaps we need some additional software, for example, vulnerability scanning, which is very helpful. Then also perhaps some network software to check the network traffic, the payloads, and so on. And then we have the time which is needed. So if you have someone decided who is responsible for the management system, this is not only a job where you can say this is needs 30% of his time. It's a full-time job. And operation of the ISMS, it's an ongoing process. It's not set up once, has to live, and therefore the team is checking information of the software, for example, the vulnerability scanning reports, getting information from other points, getting information from systems, servers, antivirus systems, and so on and so on. So it's living. It's also creating the risk table, identifying risk, handle risks, or treat risk. This is a full-time job. And then at least there is the certification as proof and support of continuous improvement. And if you think in time, what does it mean? Mean setting up minimum 3 months. It's fast in 3 months, but sometimes possible, depending on the organization itself. Then you should operate your information security management system, at least so also 3 months, and to check if all your processes really running, that you get evidences from the different processes, and then you can go into the certification process. Therefore, you have 2 stages. The first stage is 1 day, and in this phase, your system is analyzed if you are ready to go in to stage 2. Means if you are ready to be audited, at least. So it's an high overview of your system, checking if management review is done, the internal audits are done, processes are established or created, and if then the auditor says yes, you're ready to go into stage 2 in the real cold audit, then you go in minimum 2 weeks after. You should take 2 weeks after stage 1, and the audit time depends on the size of your ISMS. I will show on the next page a short table where you can identify yourself a little bit. And after stage 2, you perhaps will have a non-conformity management and a veto management. The non-conformity management is something you will do together with the auditor. So you have to say how you want to treat the non-conformities, how you want to set up some countermeasures. And when the auditor will agree, he has to upload all the documentation of the report normally in the systems of the certification body. And you can say this will take also 4 till 8 weeks, depending on the number of non-conformities, times of your employees, times of the auditor, and so on. So you can say at least 4 till 8 weeks. Coming to the audit time. So audit time is based on the mandate table from ISO 27006. There you find the dates. So they are days. So this is not hours. What you see here in this list. Be careful that there's also a new version. This new version of 27001, so 20006, is explaining how what is included in this time and so on. So there's a new version, and the audit time depends on the number of employees within the scope. This is not focused on if they're only half day working or less. It really counts the number of employees. Also, every employee could be a leak, you can say, or a possible threat, and therefore all employees are counted. Nevertheless, how many time they are working or not. Depending on whether it is initial certification, you will have the first column here. If you have a monitoring, this is called as a surveillance audit, this is the column in the middle, and the recertification table on the right shows how much time should be included. When you see total and on-site, this is really the part you have to spend as an audit team on-site, and the rest should be done as paperwork, planning audits, reporting the audits, and so on. And additional times may be added and can be agreed in advance with the certification body. So you perhaps together you will identify some reasons to increase the audit time. Perhaps in this future, depending on the decision of the accreditation body, if you want to show the evidence of fulfilling requirements of the CRA, it could be that, as mentioned, you have the 27001 plus some check of technical requirements. This means in the moment we are not knowing if plus does it mean also additional audit time, or does it mean the same audit time as calculated in this table here, for example. So this is something which is open in the moment. The discussions in the European country is different. You can say in the moment they are identifying the notification body. So the one who accreditates the certification bodies. So not so far as all we together will hope. Pole 3, Carol.
Yeah, so hopefully after some tips on how to prepare yourself in terms of budget, time, and step, we will have some sort of idea how we can prepare ourselves, especially in your own situation. So this poll is about that. It would be great to know what would be your next step. Or
this question is also depending on your level you're reached in the moment. Where do you see yourself? Do you want to start with the gap analysis? Do you need the guidance? And this is really depending on your organizational and level of information security. In the moment we see the guidance how to build up or improve the ISMS would be helpful. Yes, this is when we saw the two polls before, we see that this is in context. The internal awareness session for management and key teams. Yes, it's very important to get the management on your side to inform, make them aware why information security is helpful, that it's not only needed by the regulation, that it's also helpful in the organization itself. This is part of cybersecurity culture. To bring them into the situation to say, yes, this is part of our quality. We want information security. This is a really big task, but also a step we should take really in the beginning of our journey. And then we get the guidance to build up, and we will, within the guidance, the gap analysis. There's a question.
Yeah, excuse me, I have a question. For example, for my organization, we are already certified ISO 27001. But the question is here for the NIS2, while the NIS2 is related to Europe countries, as the Middle East and Gulf countries, do we need to be comply with this framework or to be work on it? Just a question.
Do you have some plans or some other parts, some employees sitting in Europe?
No.
Then normally not, because NIS2 is more focused on the critical infrastructure. My next question would be, if you agreed it, would be, is this plant site set as a critical infrastructure? And this is not the case in the most companies. So no, if you are outside of Europe, this is not really affecting you. You want to secure their own ones. It is interesting for you to have this look on the European side, because in your country perhaps there's a similar regulation. If not, you can see, hey, what are other countries doing to secure their companies? What we have to do to secure ourselves. It should be your interest to secure your organization, and therefore to set up ISMS, as you already did, what you mentioned. You are certified. So, but NIS2 is not affecting you, but at least CRA is affecting you, because if you're selling some products in the EU, you have to follow the CE.
Yeah, it's understandable. One more question. If I, as a bank, I'm working in a bank. As a bank, if I have a customer with the European passport, let's say, is it affect us? Are we obliged to be comply with this, and it's like the GDPR?
Do you speaking about a person, or do you say
person,
this
like a
customer?
Customer, like a person, like a person with the European passport have let's say account in our bank, let's say.
Then NIS2 it's not your topic, at least. But if you have a company and this is your customer, and this company is part of the critical infrastructure in Europe, and they have to show the evidence. It could be that they want to see that you're having an ISMS because of the supplier management. In this case, you are a supplier, a financial supplier, but at least a supplier. And then they would like to get evidence that you're working secure, because the money of this company is placed in your bank, and if you getting in trouble, at least they will do, and this is not acceptable for the company in Europe. So see then in this as a supplier check, but persons not really.
Okay, thank you.
So also many thanks here, and we see at least it's a similar picture as in the other polls, and shows our journey. So first, when we are in the beginning, we have to take our management with us. Then we can get some guidance from outside, from external ones, to build it up our ISMS and to improve it. To start perhaps together with this persons or this company to create a gap analysis, and at least you will prepare your certification process. So this is also here the picture which I can see here. Poll number 4, Carol.
Yeah, so it would be great to learn what you think the next topic would be valuable for you. So would love to hear.
And perhaps to explain one of the points, prototype protection. Perhaps a lot of companies will say a prototype is not a topic in our sector. Prototype is also another word for protecting companies' knowledge. Pharma industry, protecting knowledge. This is a higher level of information security. And also not only automotive is creating prototypes. Here we see it's certification tips, the CR, and first in the moment is the AI management system. AI is a big topic. Set up such a management system. Since this year, the accreditation bodies accredited the first certification ones. The auditors are trained in the moment. The EU AI Act was, yeah, how to say it friendly. The European Parliament decided here in this case to make it a little bit weaker than some months ago. So it's a little bit easier in the moment, but AI management system is very helpful to work with such tools in your company, work with these tools, create such tools. So I would also agree here, AI management is it's a big topic as also 27001 certification tips and CI compliance. So also many thanks for this.
Well, yeah, thank you a lot for everyone's inputs, and I think we're almost running out of time. So I would like to shortly wrap this up based on the summary of what you have been sharing within the polls. Most of the organizations are actually aware of the NIS2 and ISO 27001, but still figuring out how it can apply in practice, especially within your context. And the real challenge isn't about the budget, but it's more of the security culture within daily operation. So that's something, the real struggle. And so the next preferred topic that the majority of people would love to hear is about AI and all the regulation compliance and how AI affects that process. So it's also within our Cyber plan to have another webinar on that topic. So we're looking forward to have more people to join and explore on that. So in the end, I know that we're short of time now, but if you have any further questions or specific requests or need of support, either on the ISO 27001 certifications or applying for CRA compliancy or OT, or even others, please share with us. And I think you have already got my emails, carol@cypro.se, or contact at cypro.se. So please reach out, and of course, meet Christian Woelk here. I'm happy to kind of like share some tips with you for another follow-up sessions, and totally it's free of charge. So please take advantage of this. And thank you a lot for joining us today. And if anyone, like specifically Christians, our CEO, if you have any last minute to like thing to share before we close this, feel free to do.
No, I just like to point out that this is a knowledge sharing session, and we are very happy to share all kind of knowledge with you in terms of white papers or experiences that we come across as we are working with a lot of different NIS2 projects and ISO 27 certification projects at the moment. We are CISOs for around 15 companies and gain experiences with which we are, of course, are willing to share. Everything regarding customers are, of course, anonymous, but we're very happy to share tips and how to go about challenges in this area. And there are real challenges, and takes time. As you said, Carol, it's a cultural change to a large extent, and it takes time. And we can see that our compliance projects are somewhere between 6 and 14 months long. And it's already with the customers' busy schedules. Already before the security project starts. So it is a big transformation, but something necessary and something that's really worth it. And now, as we have the laws, we think that there's no possibility to do anything else. So we welcome your interaction, and thank you so much for attending, and hope to see you soon again. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good day for all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you also from my side to join here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. See you.
Bye.